Inga, you have done something quite remarkable very recently. In the worst economic climate since the Great Depression, you have closed a capital campaign for Yale University, raising over $3.8 billion. How did you manage those challenges and how did you succeed?
Well, I have to admit it was an adventure and not one that we had planned for. You know, I've been in development for a long time, and when you have a campaign, there's always a recession in there. So you kind of, go with the flow there. But this one was so different, as we all, experienced. And I will never forget October 2008, which is when everything came to a grinding halt. Now, luckily, we were way ahead of our schedule for the campaign. We were in year 3 already, and we ran about a year ahead of schedule. But because we were thinking we were doing so well, in June of 2008, we increased the goal to $3.5 billion, and then came October. What was so new and different and scary about that time was that this financial crisis was something that was completely unpredictable on what would happen next. It created a tremendous sense of uncertainty. Nobody knew where this was going. Nobody knew where the free fall would end. And that was the most difficult part to deal with. Because obviously our donors, even those who may not have been completely, affected by this crisis, there was the uncertainty. They didn't know what was going to happen. And so for about 2 years, it was just almost impossible to get people to make new commitments. Now, obviously, we were still, determined to reach the goal, and so we shifted focus. And we really shifted focus on not the many different campaign priorities that we had, but we focused on the core. We said, okay, we need gifts to financial aid. We need gifts for professorships, gifts that build the endowment and help in this financial crisis. And we took a very tough look at what we could accomplish and what not. So you have heard the president speak about, we stopped our capital projects. Almost all buildings, got stopped. But we figured out there were a few that we might be able to finish, and so we said we concentrate on those. So the secret behind it was that we were very, very focused as a staff. Now, the secret behind the relationship with our donors was that we didn't drop them when the bad times came. Initially, they didn't want to see us because they thought we wanted to ask them for a gift. But once they realized that we just wanted to maintain the relationship, stay in touch, express that we understand that this is a difficult time, we were able to stay involved, have them stay involved with Yale. And then the last year of the campaign happened, and somehow people either were used to the new normal, or they saw where things were going for themselves, and they were so dedicated to Yale that they didn't want to miss participating in the campaign. So while the first 2 years of the crisis, our giving dropped significantly, in the last year of the campaign, our donors gave $862 million. This is by far the largest amount that was ever given to Yale in a given year. And it shows the commitment that our donors had. So I have to say the credit does not go to the staff, the credit goes to our donors, to the philanthropists.